Next topic brought to us by BetterHelp. Workplace stress is at an all-time high. 61% of the global workforce is reporting higher than normal stress levels this summer, though. It's the perfect time to take small steps towards focusing on your wellness and managing the challenges that come with your workday. Of course, we can't just quit our jobs or take endless PTO, but we can start small, whether it's just getting outside for a few minutes or adding movement to your day. Talking to someone who can help navigate life's challenges, that's where BetterHelp comes in. Even if you have a very busy schedule, the flexibility of online therapy makes it easy to fit sessions into your schedule no matter where you are. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work. With BetterHelp, our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/LockedOn. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOn. So this is a topic that Earl sent me over and said, hey, I think this would make a good discussion for today's panel. And I said, you know what, Earl? I think you're right. So we're going to have a discussion about some of the community work that Shedeur Sanders has done since coming to Cleveland. And we've all looked at it as a major pro for Shedeur. It's awesome to see him in the community, giving back, helping out where he can.
I think it's a negative, Mike. I think wasting his time.
I knew it was perfect for this family.
Yeah.
But we all look at that as a positive. Like, it's got a lot of attention. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're all proud of Shedeur for doing it. But if we look at that as a pro for one player, is it a con for other players who haven't done as much, or if they have, it hasn't been publicized as much? Should players be required to kind of give back, or is it on a player-by-player basis? I'm curious what you guys think.
Go ahead, Tyvus.
I think it's a player-by-player basis. I will say that usually when you're a rookie in the NFL, they kind of make you do things every Tuesday during the season, make you do some type of outreach program. So it's kind of mandatory for a lot of rookies on Tuesdays.
Oh, for real?
On the off day, yeah. When I was in Seattle, they made us do it every Tuesday. They made us do something. So other players is volunteer. You can sign up and do whatever. Every Tuesday there's something that a team is going to do. You can be a part of it if you sign up for it. It's one of those things that is obviously it's not mandatory at all, but I wish I would have done more. After I left Seattle, I really didn't do too many more until I got to Denver. And I wish when I got to Denver, and I was like, man, I wish I would have been doing this, because it does make a huge impact to be able to go out and meet people in the community and do outreaches and things like that. So, yeah, I don't look at it as a negative for the other guys, though. I mean, listen, when you get to the NFL, there's a lot going on, man. You get into the NFL, you getting money. You trying to juggle this playbook. You worried about trying to get on the field. So it's just a whole lot. Then you got, outside of that, you got probably family issues and stuff like that you're trying to work through. It's just a lot. So I'm not mad at all the other rookies or anybody else that hasn't done this. I'm sure they'll get to it, or they'll get around to it eventually, because like I said, usually it's kind of mandatory for rookies. So no, I don't look at it as a negative for other people.
No.
But shout out to Shedeur, though. I appreciate everything he's doing, because Shedeur wanted to be here. He recruited Cleveland his entire draft process. And I tell you what, man, ever since he's been here, he's done everything. He's done all the right things as far as reaching out to community, talking to kids, going down to Garden Valley. Like, bro, I don't even go. I ain't even got pulled to go down to Garden Valley. So shout out to you for even being able to do something like that, man.
I kind of forgot you was. Yeah, I forgot. I usually be. What? I usually give Earl and Cecil the hood cards. I forgot.
I mean, I ain't listen, man. I hung out on Harvard, but like I wouldn't consider myself a hood dude. Earl and Cecil, like that's legit. Like legit grew up in the hood and all those things. Like I just visited it from time to time.
See, man, I ain't. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all, man. But listen, I always say this. I separate the two, man. What you do on the field, your merits are going to show up and do what you want to feel. Like, what you do between the white lines will keep you in the league. Mm-hmm. And it'll keep you a job, right? And that's up to you. You could be a cheerleader all you want for somebody because, you think they can play and everything else. But for me, I separate the two. You could be trash on the football field, but I'll mess with you as a man. I may respect you as a man for what you do for your community. Mm-hmm. Like, for me, I don't care really nothing like about no touchdowns like that. Like at certain points, that's cool. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's great for your career. But what you do off the field will make me like you as an individual and as a person and salute to you because of what you do for your people and your community. And so for me, I believe that God puts stuff on your heart to do things. That's your mission. Everybody, I believe, is here for a reason. Everybody has a mission in life, and you're born and really figure out who you are when you realize what your mission in life is, right? You focused and you understand, and it's a brand new life for you. So to me, it takes time for people to understand where they need to be at and where they need to help and do things. And everybody matures and does different things at certain levels. Everybody may not have that on their heart. It may be for certain diseases or cancer research or homeless people or soup kitchens or outreach to children. Everybody has something that they're passionate about. And I believe everybody can find some way to touch other people's lives. They have some time to do it. So for him, he's been doing this. For him, this is something that he has a passion for doing. And I'm not going to knock other people because they haven't gotten to that point yet. So that means that's him, and congratulations for him. But I also want to say there's a lot of people that do things, maybe Dylan Gabriel or Flacco or whoever the case is.
Mason Graham.
We shout out Harold Fannin Jr., Dylan Sampson, all these dudes. These guys got other things that they could be doing every single day, and it's not publicized, and it's not talked about.
That's just what I was going to say. We have no idea if other guys, Shedeur Sanders, amazing what he's doing. Incredible. He's also getting a lot more coverage than most players are, especially rookies.
Right.
So, and maybe these other guys are doing nothing. I'm not going to kill a guy for not doing charity. That's not fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to praise a guy for doing it. Yeah. It's great. What he's probably making a huge difference. He probably has met, I don't know how many kids that something he said or just being around him, the fact that it's not like he grew up in these communities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't from Cleveland, but yet it's not like it would be one thing if he went to a community in the area he grew up. Mm-hmm. But this is a whole nother level. So major kudos to him for getting out there and meeting all these kids and changing lives, which I'm sure he is. But I'm not going to use it to bash other players. That's not fair.
Side note, it was a player that came out that did a podcast recently. I can't remember if it was a Browns. It was one of the Cleveland athletes that said that when the Browns are doing well, crime goes down. You believe that's true?
I can see that.
No, I think it is true.
Twitter wars go down.
What year was it when G. New got their car stolen?
That was our second year. That'd been the
I forgot about that.
That'd been the 24th season.
So that was the playoff year.
No, they made it in.
They made it in our third year. No, it's the fourth.
No,
our first year on the air was 22.
Yeah, 23 was the playoff year.
Yes.
Earl says Jerome Ford did the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Jerome Ford said crime is down in Cleveland when
the Browns is doing well.
I mean, I could see that.
I think
people are happier.
I think that's a fact.
I
think that's a fact.
Listen, you go back and listen to off season when we made the playoffs and came into that next year. Boy, we was kumbaya.
Everybody was loving life.
We was sitting there. Mikey McNuggets would come up with these lists talking about they got the Cleveland Browns outside the top 10. Blasphemy!
Do you remember when we were arguing?
Blasphemy!
Are the Browns being disrespected because they're ranked 12th?
Oh, yeah.
They're 31st. Could you make an argument they should be 27th?
Or that Mikey was having topics. Is this the greatest defense in the history of football?
We was going after national dudes. Now this is funny. Like we got agendas. We talk about narratives. We had a whole narrative back then. If you came on the show and you wasn't congratulatory, we was coming after you.
Yes,
we was gonna get you together. We was tighten you up. What you mean? You didn't see that last quarter from Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
That Ravens game was the greatest game we've ever seen.
That's true.
Bar none.
I think charity is deeply personal, as G said, and I think forcing people to do things is meaningless. Because if you don't want to be there, you're not going to have the right attitude.
Facts.
Although what Tyvis said, like, you might not have done any charity if you hadn't had that experience, and them making you do it opened your eyes to wanting to do some charity work. So I don't think I would say it would be a good idea to have players give players a list of a million different things they could do charity-wise, and ask them to go once. Don't force them, but ask them to go once, and maybe they get inspired by that one experience. But I really don't like forcing somebody to do charity because it's charity. It shouldn't be forced. And if you go into the reason Shedeur Sanders is going to make a difference in the lives of all these people is not just because he's there. It's because he actually wants to be there and wants to make a difference.
Well, I mean,
if he was just there because he was forced to be there, then it wouldn't be as impactful.
But them outreaches, it's always, it was a lot of attitudes is, it's my day off, I gotta go do this.
Yeah.
But when you get there,
it's
and you
different.
See, like whatever,
true.
like the assignments, like feeding the homeless or visiting people in the hospital. Like when you see that, like when how they treat you, like they look at you like you this star, and I'm like, I'm a rookie out here. I'm on special teams. I barely even play.
You got a jersey.
And it was like this great thing, and like you just had these moments where you meet these people, and it just really changes your life. And it's like, man. Like, I'm glad I did it. Like, it's one of those things. It's very seldom that people go, I don't want to go to this thing, go to the event and be like, when I can't wait till I leave. You be kind of caught up in the moment.
I always say, everybody do things in their own right. Like, it's so crazy. Like, we sit up here, we argue all the time, right? About crazy stuff. But just because I may say, I'm going to go, I go to schools all the time, or I go to talk to at-risk youth, or I go to prison systems and talk to people, right? Just because Bull ain't pulling up at jails don't mean he ain't doing nothing. He's donating his time.
Nah, Bull don't do anything.
I would go to jails. Nobody invites me to jails.
But
that's a you problem.
They want some white guy in the jail.
But But think about that. I'm there like that's an hour. Think about the time commitment you have from running a whole baseball league for youth people. Like. You going to practice, you showing up, you need an umpire, you pulling up, you commissioner, you doing the team. Like that is just as impactful. Even the times me, Jason, Lloyd, Mikey, and we went out to the Y to do knockout, right? So it's everybody in their own right can do something in wherever they at. And guess what? Even if you ain't at that point, you know what you can actually do to be a great community service person? Be a good person. Don't go to jail. Pay your taxes. And then after you get a little bit older, you figure out like, okay, I'm going to expand my horizons. But most of all, just be a good person and do the things that you could do on a daily basis.
Unless you're super rich, then of course you don't have to pay taxes.
And then if you're not going to pay taxes, you're super rich, cut the check.
Yeah.
Cut the check. It's a tax write-off. Cut the check.
It's a tax write-off.
Cut the check.
I feel like in this discussion, it comes down to who the player is. Like some guys are more just inherently wired to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And some guys aren't. And it's not necessarily a knock on anyone who doesn't. And it is a major plus for people who are. But I want authenticity. Like there's nothing worse. And I've been in situations where as a kid, like you go to these events and you're hoping to see a former player or whatever, and they clearly don't want to be there. And that's a miserable experience for the people who are there. And at that point, it's a waste of time because you're not having that impact that you're hoping to make. So, it's awesome that Shedeur does have a passion for this. He talked about it in the draft lead-up process. He wanted to go to whatever community. He was recruiting Cleveland, but he did it back in Colorado. He had done it at Jackson State. Anyone who is saying Mason Graham, Dylan Gabriel, Dylan Sampson, whoever, they're not doing it, it's not a knock on them. And we don't know
what they're doing.
And
they may not be doing anything, but we don't know.
Yeah,
we have no idea.
But it's just all about being authentic.
Yeah.
And when you make that authentic connection to a community in some of these situations that Shedeur clearly has, it's really cool to see. And I do think it endears a new player to that fan base and to that community a lot quicker when they are going out and doing things like that.
So I always spin this, right? So here's the question I'm worried. Like, all of these guys are Flacco for a lot of people is very charismatic in a very dry way because he at this point he just don't care. He just say what he wants to.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Like, then you got Dylan Gabriel, right? Dylan Gabriel got fans, bro. Like, let's not get it twisted. There is a growing sentiment of people, and there's a growing base of people that say, yeah, he's a little undersized, I think he's smart. I think he played for a lot of people, but I think he's a good dude. He's a likable person. He don't say nothing crazy. He ain't acting salty. He gets no attention whatsoever. He drives a van, but people he's an underdog. I want to see him play. And then obviously Shedeur, it is what it is. He's a superstar. People are attracted to him. I got a question. I want to see, and this is the thing in training camp I want to see. I want to see who is gravitating to these people, Tyvis, because you know how it starts. Mm-hmm. The coaches really don't make the decision. It's kind of like the ground swelling of the locker room, because what you need is players to play. You ever see somebody and they be like, man, he came off the bench and they played hard for him.
Right. Guys
turn it on. They running to get extra blocks. I want to see which dude. That's why I'm interested when I go to practice to see where's the level of energy, because the charisma that they show is going to have to translate in who's going to win this matchup.
It could be split.
It could be split.
You could see where the young players are around Shedeur and the veteran players are like, I want Joe. Yeah. Because I've seen him win here.
And you know what? That's going to be the greatest thing in the world because to me, this is the most excited I've ever in my life been for a preseason football game.
Really?
Yes.
In your life?
In my life. Because
more excited than seeing Baker for the first time?
Yes, because they poured cold water on that one.
I can't say that because the most excited I've been for preseason was when I was in the preseason. So I can't necessarily
it's funny.
say that.
The first question Mike asked earlier was like, where are you at for preseason? I never really answered the specific question. I am excited just because I love football and I can't wait for football to be back. And I do think Browns camp is pretty interesting. And even though I do think the Browns are going to lose a lot of games, you never know. There's always teams every year that when the Browns won 2 years ago, we didn't think they were going to be any good. I still don't think they're going to be any good this year. But you don't know.
7-10.
Especially if Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel end up having a good rookie season.
7-10.
You never know. So I'm not going to go into it.
This is the thing. We can agree that the Browns were absolute trash last year, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Worst you've ever seen them, probably.
No. No.
Okay.
Were you not around for 0-16?
0-16.
They won one game in 2 years.
Okay, I took it a little too far.
Okay. I think they were 1-39 over a 2-year change stretch.
Do you know that a handful of their games was like less than 7 points?
Oh, a lot of them.
Yeah, but you can say that about a lot of teams, though.
I'm just saying, every year it flips. It's like turnovers. It flips. All you got to do is win a couple of those. Boom, 7-10.
I think
you have to win 4 of those to get.
When you say why you so excited, because look, I get a chance where guess what?
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, nobody is prohibitively the starting quarterback. Before it was Baker Mayfield. He's the starter. It is what it is. Then it was Deshaun Watson, and then we had placeholders because Deshaun Watson kept going in and out. So it didn't matter how bad he played. Yeah. Now I can literally sit here and I'm gonna find out if you're a person who thinks Dylan Gabriel is great. You get an opportunity to see. That's what I told you.
Well, they need to
see what I said right there.
At the end of the day, I'm still judging whether they hit on Shedeur or not. I'm still judging them off of Dylan Gabriel. This is the guy that they circled as they guy.
Well,
they had the number 2 pick in the draft. They could have got anybody outside of Cam Ward. Anybody.
Okay.
And they said to themselves, Dylan Gabriel's our guy. So I'm judging them 1,000%.
Well, but if Shedeur ends up being good, then whatever.
No, I ain't.
I'm most important.
You took that man a round or 2 higher than he was even projected to go. Because you said he was your guy. So I'm judging them. Their ability to evaluate quarterbacks and look at a quarterback coming out of college, I'm solely doing it off of Dylan Gabriel.
By the way,